Formula One drivers are normally aggressive athletes as they usually deal with extremely higher speeds. But the driver that we are going to discuss today is in totally another level of aggressiveness, maintaining a win-crash record of 31-32 in his entire F1 career. His approach in racing is very simple. It is win or burst. That is why this great driver maintained such a heavy crash record, despite he is the greatest British driver ever competed in Formula One. He is Nigel Mansell, who was able to win the 1992 championship. Even though Mansell was able to win only a single championship, he joined the ranks of the all-time greats in terms of fastest laps, wins, and poles. That is why he has built such a reputation as a Formula One driver. So, this is the story of Nigel Mansell, and stay till the last second of the video for more interesting facts about this great racing driver. Before going deeper into the discussion, remember to subscribe us for more interesting videos like this. Nigel Ernest Mansell was born on 8th August 1953 near Birmingham. He was able to feel the taste of driving for the first time at the age of 7, in the same year that Jim Clark was able to win the 1962 British Grand Prix with the Lotus team. This small matter was able to generate interest inside young Nigel towards racing. But his way toward the premium racing category was not a smooth one, and had to make several sacrifices throughout his junior career. As same as the other Formula One drivers, he started his career with kart racing and became the 1977 British Formula One Ford champion. But before winning the championship, he suffered a broken neck after a severe accident during a test drive. Doctors advised him to avoid from racing as he was in danger of experiencing quadriplegia. But Nigel dedicated himself extremely to racing and decided to race again in the championship despite his health condition. So, this British driver sneaked out of the hospital telling that he was going to the toilet and raced on. A few weeks before the accident, he resigned from his job as an aerospace engineer, as well as sold some of his personal belongings to support his racing career. So, he gambled everything on racing, and the only way to find his success was racing. Then, Nigel needed to move to the Formula 3 category, but money became the barrier for him. The only option that he had was to sell the house owned by his loyal wife Roseanne. After completing his move to F3, Nigel faced another accident in 1979. Colliding with a rival car, Nigel's car was observed to be cartwheeling through the air. But this time also, he was lucky to save his life after experiencing considerable damage to his vertebral column. Before a full recovery from those injuries, he decided to participate in a test drive with Lotus. After using an overdose of painkillers to hide his physical pain, the British driver was able to impress the Lotus management to win a test driver contract. However, his performance as a test driver during the 1980 British Grand Prix was really impressive than its full-time drivers, recording the fastest lap at Silverstone as well. So the Lotus team owner, Colin Chapman, decided to give him a permanent role by running a third Lotus car. However, Mansell was given a development version of Lotus 81 used for the 1980 championship, which is known as Lotus 81B. This car had some serious reliability issues, and the car caught up with fire during the 1980 Austrian Grand Prix. The British driver experienced painful first and second degree burns on his buttocks. He was fed up of Lotus challengers at the end of the season and announced his decision to move to Alfa Romeo as well. But surprisingly, he joined Lotus team again ahead of the 1981 season. In his third season with Lotus team, Nigel Mansell was paid €50,000 according to their contract. But he decided to earn some extra cash by participating in the Le Mans event as well. However, Chapman was not happy about that decision and paid him extra cash not to participate in that racing event. He further extended Nigel's contract to the end of the 1984 season as well, turning him into a millionaire. Mansell was someone very close to the Lotus team owner, Colin Chapman, and he was totally devastated by his sudden death in 1982. However, Mansell stayed with the team till the end of 1984, respecting the terms of the contract. Throughout his 4-season-long career with the Lotus team, reliability problems continued with the Lotus Challengers. Out of his 59 race starts with the Lotus Challengers, Nigel was able to finish only 24 races without a problem. Then, his choice was the Williams F1 team, which was a regular title challenger in that era of the sport. Nigel was partnered with Keke Rosberg, who had a personal clash with him. During the 1985 French Grand Prix, he broke the record for the fastest crash in an unfortunate manner by breaking into the barriers at a speed of 322 kilometers an hour in his Williams FW10. But Mansell was lucky to save his life from this high-speed crash, but suffered a concussion. Since the 1985 European Grand Prix, everything started to turn better with his first Grand Prix victory. Before that, he never recorded a single victory from 71 race starts. But within the next 18 months, he was able to record 11 Grand Prix victories. However, Mansell was unlucky to miss the opportunity of becoming the world champion in both the seasons, in 1986 and 1987. In 1986, a tire was blown in a critical moment of the championship and experienced a crash at the qualifying of the title-deciding race at Suzuka in 1987. Mansell didn't favor his teammate, Nelson Piquet, who called him an uneducated blockhead, and took verbal shots at Roseanne and had constant verbal clashes. In 1988, Nigel became the team's first driver for the first time in his racing career. But in that season, Williams' team experienced a huge decline with their failed active suspension system. Nigel was totally disappointed with the poor form of the Williams team and decided to leave the team at the end of the 1988 season. Nigel Mansell became the last driver to be personally selected by Enzo Ferrari before his death. After joining with Ferrari team, he became a very famous character in Italy with his fearless driving style and referred to as Il Leone. His debut with the Italian racing team was a remarkable one, recording a victory at Rio. But Mansell thought that the first season with the new team as the development year with the hope of challenging the title in the next season. The latter part of the season became a mess with reliability issues and disqualifications, and that bad form continued for the next season as well. Mansell was partnered with a former world champion, Alain Prost, for the 1990 season. But the car was totally unreliable, handing over 7 retirements to the Mansell, who was with the hope of challenging the title in the 1990 season. After spending his time at Formula One for more than a decade without winning a single driver's title, Mansell was not in a mood to race again. He decided to stop his run at the end of the 1990 season. But Frank Williams was able to revert his decision, offering him a seat at Williams' F1 team again. His second stint with Williams' team was far better than the first one, and was able to record 5 race victories at the end of the 1991 season. But Senna's constant performance and Nigel's retirements in the crucial races handed over the 1991 championship to Ayrton Senna. But he got a solid start to the next season with 5 straight victories and dominated the whole season with regular wins, fastest laps, and pole positions. With the control that he had in the 1992 season, Nigel Mansell still holds the record for the highest percentage of pole positions in a season, most wins from pole position in a season, and most runner-up championship finishes before becoming world champion. After attempting many years, he was finally able to become the world champion in 1992 at the age of 39. But this driver has some bad records for his name too. Mansell still holds the record for most retirements after obtaining pole position and scoring the fastest lap of a race. Mansell is the driver who had won the most number of races without winning the Monaco Grand Prix. Despite winning the championship, he had some disagreements with Williams' team regarding his future contract over payment and the teammate. However, he was given a last-minute contract by Williams management under any condition ahead of the 1993 season. But instead of accepting that contract, he decided to move IndyCar racing in America. Nigel's extreme pace better suited the IndyCar format, and he was able to win the championship in his first attempt. However, Nigel returned to Williams and F1 racing for the final 4 races of the 1994 season, winning the Australian Grand Prix as well. He raced twice for McLaren in the next season, but gave up early, telling that the car wasn't up to his speed. In that way, Nigel Mansell stopped his F1 career at the age of 41 years, after 187 hard races, 15 tumultuous seasons. Even though Nigel began his racing career after selling everything that he had, the 1992 world champion finished his racing career as a rich businessman, operating several business enterprises. What do you think about the career of Nigel Mansell? Share your thoughts in the comment section below.